Clifford May, president of the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, joins us now by phone from Washington, D.C. Clifford, welcome. This morning, as you know, Secretary of State John Kerry said the United States has proof that sarin gas was used in the attack last month on a Damascus suburb. Do you think that this confirmation somehow changes the dynamics of Western nations' contemplations of military intervention?
I don't, because I don't think there was a great deal of doubt before this that chemical weapons had been used by the Assad regime and used against innocent women, children, and other non-combatants. I don't think the issue of evidence and proof was what was key here.
Do you believe it makes any difference that the type of chemical used was sarin gas? Could it be argued that whether it's sarin gas or whether it's some other form of chemical weapon is irrelevant, just the fact that chemical weapons were used?
Yeah, I think it's more that Assad gassed his own people, gassed innocent children, gassed civilians. That sarin gas is absolutely reprehensible. It's terrible. It's a terrible form of poison that he is putting into his own communities. But if he had used something else equally lethal, I'm not sure that would have mitigated it in any way. The fact of the matter is, if there are laws of war, they are meant to reduce the brutality, limit the conduct, and one of the things you're not supposed to do, this goes back a long way, is you're not supposed to kill your own innocent civilians in their homes because it's useful to your political purposes. That's state terrorism, that's barbarism, it's a war crime, it's pretty clear.
The president is making his case with the American people via Congress for a punitive strike. He's urging a strike that's limited in scope, limited in duration against President Bashar al-Assad's forces. Many warn, though, Cliff, such a strike would inevitably set off a major, larger, much larger and deadlier regional conflict. How do you think the U.S. Congress will respond?
Well, I'm not sure that's true. I think you want it to be limited, but not too limited. If it's so limited that afterwards Assad can say, you see, they threw their worst at me and I survived it, then he's strengthened. If it's so limited that he says, I'm going to do it again, they can do that to me again, then it's a failure. And if it doesn't deter others, it's a failure. So it needs to be more than that. It needs to seriously degrade his aggressive capabilities. Something like wiping out his Air Force would be something worth considering. But I don't happen to agree that it necessarily sets off a chain of events or a spiral. That threat is out there, but I'm not sure it's credible. If Assad, for example, decides, okay, I'll attack Israel, I think the Israelis know very much how to respond, and I think Assad probably, you can't be sure of this, is smart enough to know that if he opens another front now with Israel, he's putting himself in tremendous jeopardy. It's simply not in his interest if he thinks it through. The Israelis are not going to hem and haw and play Hamlet over this. They're going to do something very forceful in response. So I don't think that's likely to happen.
And Clifford, finally, if you had to guess, which way do you think the U.S. Congress will go in its vote that's expected sometime after September 9th?
Yeah, it is tricky. The main Republican opponents that I see are in the Senate, but the Senate has a Democratic majority, and I think the Democrats are going to support a Democratic president. I think it's trickier in the House, and I hate to predict and I hate to guess, but I guess at the end of the day, most Democrats are going to be supportive, and most Republicans, with the exception of those who are tending towards isolationism, will end up supporting an authorization for the use of military force, although it's going to be an instructive, revealing, and consequential debate ahead.
Clifford May, president of the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Mr. May, thanks a lot for speaking with us.
Thank you.